Okay. We had an employee quit, and then we
No,
had
do I know the employee?
we had a flood at the laundromat. This is 2 days in a row now. So
A flood from outside or from
it must be coming in through the venting, the stack venting for the dryers, because it's only flooded on that side. So there's something wrong with I don't know. And 2 days in a row, they've walked in and
oh my God, what a nightmare.
So I had, anyway. All right. Let me just make sure that we're up in the group. We are live. Oh, there we go. I see people coming in. All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to this week's episode of Take It or Leave It, an advice-ish podcast hosted by myself, Meredith Masony.
And I'm Tiffany Jenkins. This podcast will discuss all things marriage, motherhood, and everything in between. Please remember, we're not professionals at anything you may actually need, so any advice we give you, you can take
or leave because it might be crap. On today's episode of Take It or Leave It, we're going to talk about the disasters that are our lives.
Oh, no.
So he's back.
Who is it? Oh, Dave.
I didn't. I thought you left, and then I heard you come back in. Okay, love you. Bye. Yeah. So let's start with you though, because I didn't realize that you've been ill all week.
Well, I was going to text you last night and warn you that I wasn't going to be able to do the podcast, but I was like, no, because if I do that, then I'll have an excuse to get out of it, even if I'm good enough to do it. You know what I mean? Like, even if by the morning I was feeling better, I would take the excuse and just sleep. So I was like, let me wait. And I didn't want to get any more behind. I already feel so behind because I've just been in bed. So
yeah, but when you're sick like that, that's exactly where you're supposed to be.
Oh, I've never been that sick in my life, dude. My best friend came over because her husband has COVID. And I was talking to her and stuff, and she was venting about how, she's just got she's one parent down and how hard everything was. And I was like, that really sucks. And then I just started bawling, and she's like, what's the matter? And I was like, I'm dying. I really think I'm dying. I actually do think I'm dying. And she's like, what the hell's going on? And I was like, I have no idea. I've never been this sick. I was, I don't know, like a fancy way to say vomiting every 3 minutes on the minute. Anytime I tried to take a sip of anything, it would just, and so I was like severely dehydrated. Like my hands felt like a desert and my mouth felt like a desert, but I couldn't drink anything. I was twisting and turning. Anyway, she came over. She's like, you need to ask Drew to get the kids. And I'm like, it's not his night. I can't ask him. And her and my sister both were like cussing at me. And they're like, tell him to fucking get his kids. So Drew left wherever he was at and came and got the kids. And Sierra was trying to get me in the car, dude. And I couldn't. I was just crying. I was like, there's no way I can sit in the waiting room. You have to call an ambulance. Like, I was so dead serious. I was like, how much is an ambulance? Because I can't make it to the car. And I felt so bad. I went into the ER, and the nurses are always so sweet. And they're like, what's your birthday? And I was like, I don't know. Like, don't ask me questions right now. It was horrible. So they wouldn't let me drink anything. They gave me an ice chip and CAT scan. They said all the big stuff looked fine. It wasn't, diverticulitis or impaction or something. So it had to just be a virus. It started with severe abdominal pain, and then I got violently ill, and that's how it progressed. So anyway, they gave me fluids, and I was feeling great at the hospital. The minute they unhooked me from the fluids and sent me home, as I was walking out to the car, I felt like I was detoxing. And then I spent the rest of the night getting sick.
Puking again?
Yeah. Getting sick. I couldn't drink. I was twisting and turning. I was like trying to Google to see if Walgreens had a delivery service because I couldn't go get my meds. I couldn't drive across town myself. Sierra had to go home. And so I just a whole nother night of vomiting and sickness. And then Drew brought the kids to school and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, dude, I need my medicine, but I can't go get it." And he was late to work. He went and got medicine and Gatorades and brought it over. And it was a suppository. And so, of course, he's like, "Do you need help?" I'm like, "Get out of my house.
Yeah.
I don't need help administering it. Get out." um, and then after I started doing that medicine, I felt all right. I just was able to finally sleep. And that's all
Good.
I did all day yesterday. I slept all night.
Good.
It's really good. So if I'm feeling better by this afternoon, I'm going to take the kids, even though it's his night, just to kind of make up for the night that he took.
Maybe don't, just because you
But he's
really
sick
need that
too.
rest.
He's
What is
sick.
he sick with?
I don't know, but he got sick too. But so he's not like, "I'm sick too," but I offered. And then yesterday he called. He's like, "How you feeling?" I'm like, "Okay." "Why? What's up?" He's like, "I'm just trying to see like who's sicker, like sick wise, like trying to see who's better to take the kids." And it was him,
Wow.
obviously.
Yeah, I'd wait a little bit before, just to see how you're doing. Make sure you don't start puking again or something,
Somebody in the chat asked if they gave me a COVID test. I took a COVID test 2 days prior to the ER, the day before the ER, and the day of the ER, and they were all negative.
So it's not COVID. It could just be a bad flu bug, tummy flu bug.
Honestly, the paperwork from the hospital's in the car, dude, because Sierra had brought me up to the hospital, and then we had my friend Haley come get Sierra, go to my house, get my car, bring it back to the hospital so that I could just drive myself home after I got all better. Because Sierra's husband has COVID. She has 2 kids that she has to get to school. Like, she did everything she could.
Right.
And so where was I going? What was the point of that? What was I saying?
I think to figure out what the paperwork said on
That's right.
the hospital.
So I drove myself home. I just left the paperwork in the car, and I haven't gone back to go get it and see even what it is because I couldn't walk.
Yeah, well, you definitely have some sort of a virus because you're, puking like that. You've got some sort of a virus going on.
It was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. It was like, it's horrible. But Caden had a stomach bug just a couple of days ago. He got violently ill, and then he threw up 4 times, and then he was fine in less than 24 hours. So I thought maybe I had that, but I threw up 4 times in a half an hour. So I was like, there's no way this is the same thing.
Yeah, it could be. It could be the same exact thing, but you got to remember how young and resilient they are and how you're not anymore.
Yeah.
We're just not, like what takes us a week and a half to get over, these kids can be like, pop up and be like, make me a grilled cheese. And you're like, oh, I can't even smell food because we're just not anymore. It sucks, but.
Yeah. I feel like lately I've definitely been cashing in my friend cards, and I owe my friends so much. And it's times like this where you realize like who will be there for you. And another thing too is I'm sure there's tons of people that would be there for me if I called them. But the amount of uncomfortability for me to call somebody who I'm not super close with, like I'd almost rather suffer alone than call someone I don't really know that well and ask them for something. So I have a few people who I don't mind calling and asking for things because I do things for them. So I guess the answer is maybe I just do more things for more people so that I don't feel guilty asking people for things when I need it. Maybe.
It's tough. I think that it's funny because we're so similar in certain ways and so different in other ways. Because like this weekend, I had a situation where I felt like, okay, so I had to go to a friend's 40th birthday party. And I haven't been seeing lots of friends lately. I've sort of been isolating because I don't feel like being social. I think because of the headspace that I'm in with Matthias, and I cry a lot. And so I never know when the crying is going to start because I can't control it. Like, it's not that it's just I'll have a weird thought and then I'm crying. So I don't like to be social. I haven't been very social. I have basically just been going to my favorite places, Costco, Publix, the laundromat, whatever, my go-tos.
Weird.
And I haven't really been socializing with people. And I feel bad because like I have a text chain with two people that are like my two friends in the area. And they've been texting and like I haven't even been texting back or like being involved in it. And so then I go to this 40th birthday party for a friend, and I'm talking to this woman and just having just a chit chat, and then I just started crying. And it had not, like, it wasn't like anything to do, like I just can't help it. The thing is I don't have any control. And she's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I'm just having a really hard time right now because my oldest is getting ready to go off to school. It's his senior year and I cannot control my emotions and should not be in public. And I am embarrassed and I want to go home now." And so then, of course, other friends in the party. Now I'm crying at this woman's 40th birthday party. Like, what a piece of shit, right? Like, this is her party. This is her night. And I'm in a corner. Literally, I try to go to the furthest corner of this party because I'm crying. And then all of these other people start to come over. And I was like, this needs to stop immediately. I can't keep talking about this. I need to go home. This is why I'm not allowed out right now. And people are like, "No, this is why you need friends. This is why you need to call and talk to people. This is why you should be, and one of the moms who I'm friends with, her son, this is his freshman year of college. So she just did this. And so I was like, "But it's okay, right? Because like he calls and like you talk to him every day." And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "No, I mean, I talk to him maybe a couple times a week, but it's more of just a check-in." And I'm like, and I'm just bawling, right? So I'm like, okay, this is not okay. And so then I'm apologizing to the birthday girl, and I'm talking to my friends, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I've been a really shitty friend lately. I'm sorry that I haven't been calling or talking or chatting or anything. But I'm not well. I'm not in a good space. And this is why I'm not allowed in public. And I'm really sorry." And so I, made my apologies. And then we ended up leaving. Everybody was still kind of hanging out, but we had to be up at 5 a.m. the next day anyway for Sophia's horse show. So I was like, we really have to go now because everybody's like, "Just stay. Let's talk this through." And I'm like, I don't want to talk about anything.
Oh my God, so awkward.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like such a piece of shit right now. I'm going to go home. So everybody was so nice. Everybody was so wonderful. But I was like, that's the problem. Like, I've never been in a position in my life where I couldn't turn it off to be able to interact or do whatever I needed to do. I have no control.
Interesting.
Can't stop it. And then I feel like God or whoever is out there, aliens, whatever you believe in, whatever you think that is the higher power that is up there, is like, today I'm going to tell your teenager to act like such an asshole that you're going to be excited at the thought of them leaving. And so Matthias has started acting like a bit of a dick lately. And I think that it's because he's trying to really assert his independence. And so the other morning, he got up in a mood, was refusing to go to school. And I was like, "You don't get to refuse to go to school. Like, you're going to school." I was like, "You leave school at 12:45. You have to be there for 3 hours. Like, There's nothing wrong with you. You're not sick." And he gets up and then he's screaming, "Nobody packed my lunch." And I was like, "Pack your own lunch, bitch." And then he's like, "I asked Sophia to do it and she didn't even do it right." And I was like, "Just pack your lunch. What's the big deal? Just grab your stuff out of the out of the pantry. Like, it's not a big deal. So he takes a box of Capri Suns, sticks it on the counter, and punches it with his fist. And I go, what are you doing? And he's like, that's how you open Capri Suns. And I was like, no, it's not. I'm like, that's how you bust an entire packet of Capri Suns. They're literally juice in a pouch, you idiot. So then we're screaming at each other. And he's like, chill out. I don't know what your problem is. And I'm like, you're my problem. You're my problem. And then he's like, I gotta go. And I'm like, I love you. Bye. And he's like, I love you. Bye. And I was like, I was like, okay, I'm not going to cry today.
I love how he's trying to assert his dominance. And he's like, nobody packed my lunch.
Yeah, right? Like, that's the go-to. Mom, you didn't put my meatloaf in my lunchbox. Like, dude, what is your problem? So I feel like that's the exact, like, the Lord is like, I see you're crying. Let me give you something to ease your tears. Yeah. Boom, kid's an asshole. And you're just like, damn, what's your problem?
Why?
So that's the start of my week.
Why would Sophia make his lunch?
He was yelling at her down the hall, put stuff in a bag for me, I guess, while they were getting ready. And she was like, okay. And she did just fine. I mean, she left out the Capri Sun and something else he wanted. But like, she went into the pantry and she grabbed a bunch of shit and threw it in a bag, a Publix bag. And, you know, she didn't do it to his liking. And he threw a big old hissy fit. And a lot, it's just all of these little things. Like, he used to talk to me about everything, and now he won't talk to me about anything. And there's just a lot of, I don't want to talk about it. Whatever. It's no big deal. I don't even care. And I'm just like, I just want to know what's going on. I'm not going to homecoming. I'm like, it's your senior year. Go to homecoming just to go. Just because you want to go. I don't have a date. So what? You don't need a date. None of your friends have dates. Go with all your friends. It's just a group.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so stupid. And I'm just like, it's not stupid. It's just go. I don't care if you go for 30 minutes. Just go so that you can say you went to your senior homecoming. It's not a big deal. What does it matter? I was like, it matters because I know it matters because I've already done this shit. So just do it. That's all I get. So I'm like, okay.
That sucks.
It feels like I haven't heard this from other parents before, so there's no preparing for it, right? Like, I feel like every new stage and phase that we go through as parents, we think we're going to be prepared for the next one because we feel like we've had some training with the last one. But the next phase is always so different, and you don't know what you're doing, and you don't know how you're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
So
I just realized I'm just a useless bump on a log right now. Like, you're talking and I'm just saying, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't feel well.
For sure.
For sure.
100%.
I'm just glad you're not puking because that would have made for an awkward podcast.
I'm surprised I'm not. I haven't been able to eat solid food. I ordered something this morning. I just took a couple bites and so far so good.
Have you been drinking though? Do you have some electrolytes in you? Did you have some Gatorade?
Last night was the first night that I was able to drink without getting rid of it.
Yeah.
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 So,
okay, good.
I don't know. Maybe like I thought I could do the podcast, but now that I'm here, I'm like sweaty and cold at the same time.
Well, we can call it a day.
That would be stupid.
Well, we got a solid 1845 in. It's longer than sex.
It is so much longer. Did I get an official diagnosis? Somebody's asking. It's in the car. I don't think
it has to be a virus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has to just be a nasty, 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 nasty virus.
I mean, I've had lots of viruses. I've never had anything like this. It felt like I drank poison, and like I felt like if you could imagine like a cockroach that was sprayed with cockroach spray, and it's like fighting for its life and twisting and turning and dying slowly. Like that's what it felt like in my bed.
Could it have possibly been food poisoning?
All I had to eat that day was a couple of bites of ice cream.
The day you started feeling sick?
Yeah. No, the day I started vomiting.
Right. But what about the day you started feeling sick?
That was like the day of so like Sunday.
So I'm just
Sunday
saying, was there
morning.
anything weird that you ate or a place that you went to eat or whatever?
I don't think so, dude.
Okay. Because food poisoning, you really do. Dave just came in the chat and he's like, what? Get the fuck out of here. When I said 18 minutes is longer than sex.
Wow.
I should have known he got in the car and turned on the podcast. I'm
That's so
kidding, Dave.
funny.
I'm kidding.
What did you eat 24 hours before you got sick? Oh my God. I don't know. It was the weekend. The day of Caden's birthday, you had no voice. Somebody said, yeah. So that was Sunday. The day that like I just started sounding like Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking, could have been something you ate that like the day before that or whatever, or
It
if
could
you'd
have
eaten
been.
out or got some Grubhub or something or whatever. I was just because I've had food poisoning, and I can tell you that that's the point where I thought I was gonna die.
Well, I don't really eat meat, but
It doesn't have to, right. It doesn't have to be meat. It could be that somebody's hands were dirty that touched your food, and then you ate it and you got that from it. Is all I'm saying. Is there could have been, because like I was sick for when I had Shigella, which is a form of E. coli, which is a form it's like food poisoning because it was eating from somebody whose dirty, gross hands touched my food. I mean, it was 2 weeks. And I would feel better when I'd go to the emergency room and get the bag. And then the second I got off of it, I'd feel worse. But I was also shitting blood. I don't know. You're not.
I haven't even been able to do that.
Okay. Yeah. No, I couldn't stop. It was both ends. So hopefully, I mean, and if it is food poisoning, after you get it all out, you should really start to feel better. You know, like once it's completely.
Well, it should be out by now for F's sake.
Yeah.
You can't even fathom the amount of vomit.
I love that you keep like that's going to make it better.
Yeah. Vomit sounds French and exotic.
La vomite.
Yeah. Maybe we should reschedule this just so people don't have to hear me sounding sick and gross and not adding anything to the conversation.
That's fine. We can try again. I mean, I don't even have a problem posting this next week. And then we try to do 2 or whatever you want to do. If you're ready to go back to bed, go back to bed.
Well, this is the most I've sat up in days.
Yeah.
And I'm sweating.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying I don't think you should get the kids.
Well, they're pretty cool. If I just want to lay down, they're cool. They lay down a lot.
All right. Well, let's call it a day.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
Hey, you get an A for effort and you tried.
I did try. I tried really hard.
See?
Thank you very much.
All right. So we're going to end this stream. I'll see you guys later.
I'm sorry, everyone. I know this is super lame.
You don't have to apologize for being ill with the vomit. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.